somebody who loves me. Yeah, I've been listening to that song a lot during one of my workouts, and I absolutely love it, and it just makes me filled with joy, and that's how I feel right now. I feel so full of joy. Like, I cannot believe I have made it to this moment. In the past 6 to 8 weeks, I have thrown at myself a bunch of challenges about reworking a bunch of things about my brand. Oh wait, stop, back the truck up. Hello, my name's Marie. This is my YouTube channel, Rebags, which was my childhood nickname, and I'm here talking about my little tiny micro soap skincare body products brand, and that is Sunny Ruckus. It's an adventure-based brand. It's about a lot of things, but mostly soap, candles, getting out, no fuss, minimal packaging, and yes, I launched my first collection in June. This is my third collection. I have 4 new soaps to talk about today. I have 3 new candles and a couple products that I've reworked and reimagined. So with that being said, yes, in the last 6 to 8 weeks, it felt like there was Everest between me and this moment. And that is because I totally changed the shape of the soaps. I totally changed the packaging. I totally changed the containers of the candles again, which meant that I had to rework for all of these things. The packaging, the labels, I had to make all the labels. And so, yeah, on top of having a bunch of personal stuff going on and having just a crazy, crazy last couple of weeks at work. So with that being said, I want to jump in and talk about the products, because that's why we're here, right? To talk about the products. And as troublesome as I made things for myself, because I'm a Gemini and I just do that, and I knew when I launched this brand, I wasn't going to wait till everything was perfect, because I wasn't going to know what wasn't perfect until I started selling stuff. And so with that being said, let's jump in, because at this moment right now, even though I just basically killed myself, I feel so good about where things are at, how things look, how things feel, how things perform. Like, I couldn't be happier right now. So let's jump in. And the price points, I couldn't feel better about the price points. So anyway, with all that yada, yada, yada being said, let me jump in. So one thing you'll notice is I changed the shape of the soap. Everything was round, and it was being made in these tiny individual molds. And that was great. Like, some of the soaps will stay round, like puka shell. It just makes sense for it to be round. The recipe goes really well into the containers. However, the way that I make soap makes it more difficult to put it in those like individual containers. And so I thought about using another method that most people use, but it didn't work with the way I imagined soap feeling and the way I wanted soap to be and the way I wanted my process to go. And so I had to stick with the type of soap making that I love, that inspires me. But I wanted the look to be just a little more streamlined. Like, it's still very rustic, it's still very organic looking, but now it just has like a little bit more of a polish to it. And the process is actually easier for me to make it. So it just felt like a win-win for me. This is kind of always how I dreamed my soap would look, and we're here now. So with that being said, the first soap that I want to talk about is PolyPoly. PolyPoly is a bar that has a ton of woodsy, creamy deliciousness to it. So one of the things that I took was this rosemary infused olive oil that I had, and I wanted to make a soap out of it. And so this has as much rosemary infused olive oil that I could pack in here. So it's great at clarifying, refining, balancing the skin, but I also loaded it with a bunch of butters so that it feels super soft. And then I added Virginia cedarwood, Siberian fir, and so it feels like a walk in the clouds in this park here on Haleakala that is filled with redwood trees. And it just feels so decadent, and I love it. And I use pink salt in all my bars, and because the color of the soap is so light, it still has sort of the pink sea crystal look to it. So it's just a divine bar. I love it. If you love kind of damp forest walks, if you love the potent smell of cedars, then you're gonna love that bar. Okay, next up is Offshore. Now, Offshore is where I took sal butter and I infused it with chamomile because I wanted, it's wintertime, we need to be gentle with our skins. I love using like a heavy amount of butters in my soaps, but I wanted it to be this rich, luxurious butter that also had the smell of ylang-ylang. So it smells very floral, it's very soothing, but it's very warm, and like some of the aspects of ylang-ylang that I don't like, I tried to really balance with all the very warm cocoa butter, sal butter, kupasu. So it has just a very lovely lady feel to it. And you know, when you think of offshore winds, when you're surfing, you think of that gentle mist that comes off the back of the wave. And it's just so lightweight and effervescent, and I just wanted this soap to kind of feel like that. Okay, next up is Hotspot. Hotspot is where I started with these kind of winter release, and it is packed with red palm butter. Now, before you get worked up, it is completely sustainably sourced. I've been sourcing from these people for years now. I love them. They're very open about their, you know, where they get their products from, where they get their ingredients from. And so I feel really good about using it. Palm butter or red palm butter just makes terrific soap. It's super lathery, it's super creamy, and so it feels so good. Another one that I have in here is sandalwood powder. And the reason I have sandalwood powder in here is because, for one, this is like a tribute to the Big Island, and sandalwood grows on the Big Island. But not only that, I've just always been so impressed with sandalwood's ability to tone the skin. Now, I didn't use sandalwood essential oil in the soap because that would just be ridiculous. Sandalwood oil is so expensive, but it does have black spruce, lavender, orange, and one other one I forget. So it has a very earthy, holiday, very just warm feel to it. I really went, with this collection, I really went heavy on essential oils that support the respiratory system. Because I feel like whenever my kids get sick, the number one thing I do is put them in the shower with essential oils that help open up our breathing. And so as a small daily way to try to help open up and keep our lungs healthy, I really wanted in the wintertime for these soaps to contain these essential oils that help open and uplift and support the respiratory system. So everything has, you know, like a stronger smell to it. Last, I have Olivine, which has that sweet candy peppermint smell to it. It's French peppermint. This has oodles and oodles of cocoa butter. This has oodles and oodles of cocoa butter and coconut milk. So it's just a decadent skin treat. That's really what it feels like to me. Okay, I'm also gonna have Dawn Patrol because it is a crowd favorite. It's my favorite, it's my mom's favorite. It has that orange ginger smell to it. Everybody loves it, but it's in the bar form now. And then I also have Puka Shell, which is my Manoi di Tahiti gardenia coconut mel tribute to the beautiful lushness of Polynesia. So Puka Shell. Okay, so now moving on to the candles. What kind of candles do I have? I'm so excited about the candles, and this is one of the things that set me back. The soap was done. The soap's been curing for weeks. The soap is ready to go. But one of the things that set me back was that I changed the candle containers. So I ended up having to change the wicks. So then I changed the labels, and then I got this hair on my butt that I wanted the candles to be colored. And I could not let it go. And I was basically like, I could have made all the candles weeks ago, but I was troubleshooting getting the candle wax to be dyed. I succeeded. It's finally here. It's what set us back all that time. But I just wanted it the way I wanted it. And once I got it in my mind that I was going to color the wax, there was no other way around it. So anyway, this is a scent. A scent is definitely inspired by Christmas trees, by the smells of Christmas, by just those botanical smells that we love that are just trees and nature and just absolute gorgeousness. So a scent. The notes are plumeria, gin, cypress, and fir balsam. 3 ounces. I'm super stoked with the way the labels have come out. I'm super stoked with the way they look. Yeah, I'm really happy. Okay, next up is another holiday scent called Glory Days. Now, I wanted to do a bakery smell, but I did not want anything to have this heavy, caramely, buttery vanilla smell. So I went with like the feeling that you would get from a chai, but not so heavy on chai, if that makes sense. So when I smell it, I still smell sweetness. I still smell spices, but I don't get anything overly heavy. I just get this really warm, invigorating smell. Notes of, the notes here are ginger, orange peel, cinnamon, and vanilla. Just not like a buttery, caramely, heavy vanilla. Okay, next up is one I'm super stoked with. It's called Salty Lady. Salty Lady has notes of rose, it has notes of vanilla, vetiver, salt air, and it has like a deep blue, pretty ocean color to the wax. I really wanted a candle, because I use fragrance oils, I really wanted a candle that had a strong salty air feel to it, and I feel like I achieved it. I love it so much. It turned out so pretty. And last but not least, I have Pumalia. So Pumalia is the one that smells like a hibiscus, my favorite kind of coral hibiscus. It's absolutely stunning, and yeah, so those are the 4 candles I have this time around. Okay, next up I have the newly reformulated Green Flash Oil Cleanser. Now, I went back to my original recipe and I just basically mixed up my original recipe. I started using it again and I'm like, why did I ever change it? Oh yeah, I was trying to make things more complicated and sound more fancy. And trying to be something essentially that I'm not. This is not a girl who makes a $50 oil cleanser. This is a girl who makes a $25 oil cleanser for 2.4 ounces. So in here is carrot seed oil. Like almost half the formula, because that's really originally what I wanted. I wanted it to smell super earthy. I wanted it to smell like carrot seed oil. And then I have olive oil in here infused with calendula and comfrey. Now, I kind of shied away from comfrey because people have mixed opinions about it. In a product that's removed in a tiny amount, I feel really good about it, especially knowing also that my sourcing of the infused oil is so immaculate. But comfrey, basically, let me tell you a story about comfrey, is that I hypersensitized my skin, and what I feel like stopped it and renewed my skin was using this comfrey infused olive oil every night. Now at the time I didn't know a lot about comfrey. I probably shouldn't have been using that much, but it healed my skin barrier. It decreased my sensitivity over the span of a couple months. And I know it was that because I really stopped using a lot of skincare products at that time. And so I have a tiny amount in here. Comfrey is just notorious for healing and rebuilding skin. And it's just immaculate. So carrot seed oil, calendula, comfrey infused olive oil, hazelnut oil. A lot of people don't know that hazelnut oil is just so fantastic, so high in antioxidants, but also that it balances the skin. So in the face, at the end of the day, when you're massaging off the dirt and grime, it's a perfect oil to help balance the flora. I have Tamanu in here because it is my absolute favorite oil, one of my absolute favorite oils, and I feel like out of all the things out there, because I know the plant and I have seen how it grows and behaves, I just have such a confidence in it as a healing, renewing oil for skin. And then there is there's something else in here, but I've forgotten. I don't know why. I don't know how could I forget. What is it? I'll have to think about it. I can't believe that I've forgotten. Anyway, okay, so then I have my Endless Summer Body Balm, which is basically just beeswax, some really therapeutic occlusive oils, and some essential oil. I am in love with this body balm. It's so rich and nourishing, and it holds the smell so well. And it's like, I swear, beeswax, we go through all of these like waxy substitutes in our creams and stuff like that, but really all we need is beeswax. Beeswax is so incredible for the skin in the winter time. So what it has in there is beeswax, Monoi di Tahiti oil, because this is kind of like a play or a revisiting of my Endless Summer body oil, but it's kind of more for winter. It's a little bit more simplistic. I like it a little bit more. So it's got Monoi di Tahiti, so it smells like gardenia. Then it has Babasu. It has the coconut oil, obviously, that's the Monoi di Tahiti. It has Hymenia oil in it. Have you ever heard of that? It's one of my absolute favorites because it has this Vaseline-like quality to it. So it has a tiny amount in there that really soothes and nourishes the skin. And then, of course, I've got my hazelnut oil in there because I'm so in love with hazelnut oil. So again, just super simple, smells good, performs well, just where I always wanted my products to be. And lastly, I have my Farm Stand face mask. Now, if you subscribe to Face Mask Alchemy, my brand from many moons ago, I had a version of this mask that used this strawberry powder. And so I really wanted to, like when I did my first go around, I really wanted to do this mask that was just strawberry powder. And then I kind of like, again, overcomplicated it because I doubted myself. So when I was kind of coming back to basics on a lot of different levels, I came back to the face mask and I made it exactly what I had originally wanted, which is really hydrating, packed with vitamin C, super simple. Really just a gorgeous mask to mix with honey when you're looking for like a treat for the skin, like real true skin food. So anyway, again, the price tag on everything is right where I want it to be. Thanks for watching. Bye.